Hello everyone, welcome to my sketching class. Today I'm going to show you how to sketch a snow leopard. So there's him. We're going to focus on the portrait. We're using the reference from the book called Animal, published by DK. And if you have the book, we are on page 218. So we're gonna go ahead and start the sketch with our 2B pencil. We're gonna draw a circle. The circle is about 1/3 of the width of our sketching page. Try to make the sketch round. The rounder the better. We draw a horizontal line to divide the circle into 2 even parts. Make sure the horizontal line is parallel to the top and the bottom edges of our sketching page. Make sure that the horizontal line is parallel to the top and the bottom edges of our sketching page. And then we divide the diameter inside the circle into 2 even parts. Use your pencil and your thumb to measure the half right of the diameter and compare it to the half left. Make sure 2 lengths are in the same size. Then we draw a vertical line. When it passes the mark we just made. And then divide each radius into 4 even parts. We draw a horizontal line that passes the first mark on the bottom radius. To find the location of the eyes, we're going to draw 2 vertical lines that pass the middle of the second and the third sections on the left radius. We do the same to the right. We draw 2 vertical lines that pass the middle of the second and the third sections on the right radius. From the intersection between the second horizontal line and the second vertical line, we draw a curve. Turn the line to the left, make it touch the first horizontal line. When you draw the left eye, the eye will not touch the second horizontal line. Make sure the top right of the eye is kinda high, close to the first horizontal line, so the eye will look friendly, not too angry. We do the same to the right. We start from the intersection between the second horizontal and the fourth vertical line. We draw a curve and turn the line to the right. From the intersection between the curve and the last vertical line, we draw a curve. You need to make sure that the bottom of the eyes are placed at the same level. And then from the second horizontal line, we draw 1 and 2 curve. To draw the nose, we draw two horizontal lines that pass the third mark on the bottom radius and the bottom of the circle. From the intersection between the third horizontal and the second vertical line, we draw a wavy line. And the line will pass the last horizontal line before it passes the third vertical line. Do the same to the right. This is not the nose, it's like the stripe of the nose. The nose will be smaller, and it's under the third horizontal line. It's like you're drawing a letter M. To draw the nostril, we draw 1 and 2 curve. 1, 2 curve like that. The shape will be clear when we do the shading. And then we draw 1 and 2 diagonal lines for the nose bridge. At this time, we would like to check your work a little bit. Take about 30 seconds to check your work. Make sure when you divide the face into two parts, the half left of the face will be a reflection of the half right. We duplicate 1/4 of a radius to the bottom at the last horizontal line. We draw a horizontal line at another horizontal line. So we duplicate 1/4 of a radius to the bottom twice. At the intersection between the fifth horizontal line and the third vertical line, we draw 1, 2 diagonal lines. When you pass the second vertical line, draw a curve, do the same to the right. To draw the lower jaw, we're gonna start at the intersection between the last horizontal line and the second vertical line. Draw a curve. We draw a diagonal line first, and then we draw a curve. The gap between the curve and the last horizontal line will be equal to 1/4 of a radius. So if you're a perfectionist, that's how you do the calculation. To draw the cheeks, we're gonna draw two vertical lines that pass the left and the right side of the circle. Then, from the intersection between the first horizontal line and the first vertical line, we add one, two curve like this. So the second curve will be going toward the middle of the gap between the third and the fourth horizontal line. Do the same to the right. So you don't want to make the lines too dark. From the intersection between the fourth horizontal line and the second vertical line, we draw a curve and turn the line to the top right. Do the same to the right. But we make the line on the right go toward the left corner instead. Draw at the bottom of the face. You can see that the line passes the middle of the gap between the fourth and the fifth horizontal line. Turn the line to the top left, and when you pass the second horizontal line, turn the line to the top right. It does not touch the circle. Be careful. So when you draw the right side, we draw in a similar way. And when the line passes the second horizontal line, turn the line to the top left. To draw the ear, we need to draw two horizontal lines that pass the second mark on the top radius and the top of the circle. We will duplicate 1/4 of a radius to the left side of the circle and draw a vertical line. We do the same to the right. We duplicate 1/4 of a radius to the right side and draw a vertical line. To draw the ear, we're gonna start from the middle of the gap between the first and the second horizontal line. We draw a curve for the forehead first. Do the same to the right. And then, from that mark, we draw 1, 2 curve. The second curve will be going toward the intersection between the third horizontal line and the second vertical line. Do the same to the right. Then add 1 curve on top of the ear shape for the outer ears. We draw 1 and 2 line. Like that, they would not touch each other. Let's duplicate half of a radius to the top of the circle and draw a horizontal line. This will help you determine how high the back of the neck is going to be. So it looks like, so this line right here, the line we just made, make the shape of the body look like is facing toward the left, but the head turns to the left and look toward us. To draw the left paw, from the intersection between the first vertical line and the 8th horizontal line. Draw a curve. Under the chin, draw a curve for the chest, and then add a curve that is slightly curved to the top for the left paw. We would duplicate half of a radius to the right side of the last vertical line. From there, we're going to draw the paw from the intersection between the 6th horizontal line and the last vertical line. Draw 1, 2 line. On the left side, draw 1 and 2 line. You can see that the left side of the right paw is placed close to the 7th vertical line. Extend the line of the paw to the top. And again, make the light light, not too dark. From the intersection between the, under the last horizontal line a little bit, draw a curve like this for the belly. That's it. So you can imagine that if we don't have this line right here, or this line right here, it's really hard to see the muscle of the right paw. So we need to add this line right here, even though it's short, but it's really important. Same right here. It's just like to see the muscle of the paw. So when you're done, I would like you to take about 20 seconds or 30 seconds to check your work. Put your sketch far away, at least one arm far away. Check the sketch and see how it looks. So let's go ahead and erase the guidelines. We're going to erase the circle, all the horizontal lines, and the vertical lines. So when you erase carefully. Keep the sketch light. We only erase the circle, all the horizontal lines and vertical lines. So when you're done, use cotton ball, squeeze it, we blend. Blend from the top left to the bottom right. We're gonna work on the right eye first. Inside the eye, we're gonna draw a little curve to determine the pupil. You can see that I use curved lines first to outline the bottom half of the pupil. Then I use curved line to shade toward the top. Hold your pencil photo in the back. We shade the outline first. We need to make sure that the pupil is placed at the middle of the eye. And then when you're done, you can hold your pencil photo in the back. We start shading from the top to the bottom, but do not shade too much. Make sure you reserve a little highlight on the top right. The iris is brighter than the outline of the eye shape. And then we use curved line to shade a border. Like that. Right under the eye. Hold your pencil photo in the back. We use circular pattern to shade the value under the eye, and this value does not touch the eye. It will get closer to the eye as it goes toward the nose. I use curved lines which are curved to the top to add some dots. So we can feel the character of our leopard. Use circular pattern, shade near the eye. You're done. We will use Q-tip to blend from the bottom to the top. We blend to the top, but of course, make sure that you do not touch the eye. We blend around the eye, not over the eye. You want to go back and touch up the pupil, the eyelashes. Touch up the dots. So when you're done with this step, take about 30 seconds to check your work. Your sketch far away, list one arm far away, check the sketch and see how it will look. So we move on to the next part. When we do the same thing, we use curved line to shade the pupil of the eye first. And then we use curved line to shade the outline of the eye. You have to look at the reference frequently in order to compare your sketch with the reference. You can see that at the very beginning, the eye doesn't look right. It looked really pale, like the leopard got possessed. But if you keep shading and make the top of the eye darker a little bit, it will look better. I think I made the wrong move for the highlight. We need to fix the highlight on the right eye because the light comes from the top left to the bottom right. So the highlight's gotta be on the top left. You can see that the way I shade is kind of abstract. Everything is kind of loose. But we still understand the details. We can read the detail on the sketch. I want to tone down at the top right of the eye. And then use eraser. Tap the top left for the highlight and make the highlight lean toward the left. Then we blend from the lighter value to the darker value. Right now the left eye is kind of pale. We need to use eraser to make the highlights brighter. We touch up the pupil, especially the bottom. We touch up the eyelashes, especially at the left corner and the right corner. We make the right side of the iris darker than the left. And then touch up the dots. I use curved light shade to verify to clarify the white stripes, not white but bright stripes next to the eyes. We use curved lines to shade the dots. On the nostril. And then shade the stripe toward the top left. Shade the stripe at the middle of the nose and use circular pattern shade at the top to the bottom. To shade the lip, we need to shade from the nose and create a stripe at the middle of the mouth, and then make the value at the middle of the lip dark. Soften the stripe toward the left and the right. Shade the lip corners, make the lip corners dark and then skinnier toward the middle. Use circular pattern shade from the lip to the bottom. And the more you shade to the bottom, the less you're gonna shade it for sure. We use circular pattern to create the dots. So when you're done, we're gonna use Q-tip for sure. We blend from the bottom to the top. And then we go over the bottom of the nose. This part is gonna be tricky. We use Q-tip, blend from the outline at the left side of the mouth toward the middle, but we try not to touch the stripe at the middle of the mouth. We use Q-tip, blend from the middle of the nose to the top. You don't want to blend everywhere, because if you lose the white part on the sketch, it will make the sketch kind of flat. Whenever you're done with blending, make sure you go back and touch up the shading. I want to add some dots under the lip. We use curved line to shade. But for the dots on the mouth, on the upper mouth, on the upper jaw, we use circular pattern instead. That use curved lines shade the border of the ear. Use curved line to shade the outline, and start using curved line to shade the dots. At this part, you want to look at the reference. You have one. To determine where you're going to put the dots. Unlike regular leopard, snow leopard has less dots. And the dots will become larger when they are far away from the eye. I use curved line to shade in all the dots, all the curves, direct toward the center of the face. There will be two stripes above the eyes like that. You can make it up, but make sure the half left of the face is a reflection of the half right. We use curved line, lightly shading the outline. When you shaded the dots on the body, different from the way you shade it on the face. Some of the dots will be empty inside. Some will be solid. You just have to look at the reference and determine which dots are solid, which dots are um, empty inside. The dots on the paws will be small when they close to the toes, and the dots will become larger when they close to the face. Make sure you pay a lot of time. Make sure you pay a lot of attention on the dots. Spend a lot of time to shade it to cover up all the dots and make them look like they are black. We use light lines to shade the outline. Relax your hand when you shade. You can see that this dots right here is empty inside. So I shade the outline a little bit, and later on I would use Q-tip to blend the shading toward the inside. Relax your hand when you shade. I'm gonna go ahead and make up the dots in the back. We use curved lines which are curved to the right to shade. So now what we need to do is checking the dots. Make sure they are fully dark, not too grayish. And we make the dots on the right side darker than those on the left. When you're done, use Q-tip. I want to work on the left side first because I know that it will be softer, brighter than the right side. And I want to utilize the graphite or the charcoal on those dots right here and blend mostly on the right side. We blend it just and we make it look like it's behind the face. We smudge the inside of the ear for the shadow. Make sure you go over the empty dot to make the inside of the dots darker than the fur. Use cotton ball, squeeze it, and then soften the right side. We go over the half right of the face, like that, to push the right side to the shadow. Go back, touch up. And this time, we're gonna spend about 5 minutes. You can spend more time to shade it and clarify the shadow on the right side. We're not shading all the dots again. We shade the value and darken the dots on the shadow side, which is the right side. We use curve light to shade and add texture on the fur. I forgot to shade the inside of the right ear, so I'm gonna use pencils, shade a little bit, just for the shadow. And also clarify one on the left. use circular pattern, tone down the value. Because this value right here are really soft, so we have to use circular pattern to shade. We cannot use curved lines, otherwise the value will look really rough. So basically we're shading the border between the main at the bottom of the face and the cheeks. That I want to use eraser. Make the highlight brighter so you can see the contrast will be back. Use curved line to shade the fur on the left, fur on the cheek, the chin. With this technique, you need to make sure that your eraser are sharp. Okay, when you feel like you're done, go ahead and sign your work at the bottom right. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my work. So that's all about the lesson for today, and I hope you found this lesson helpful and enjoyable. Keep sketching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.